The New York Knicks had just capped off Game 3 with a W on the Detroit Pistons home court. Ended up taking a 2-1 lead series over the Detroit Pistons. This game lived up to expectations. Both teams knew the importance of this Game 3 right here. Neither one wanted to lose this game. And the game lived up to the hype. Both teams came with it. Both teams came to play. Detroit home crowd, they home fans, they first home playoff game since 2008, and that mug was rocking. Not gonna lie, there was a physical ball game. It was a high level ball game. Shot making at its finest. Everything that you can think of that you want in a playoff game, this game had it right here. Now, ultimately, the New York Knicks, they end up making more plays down the stretch, doing more, and that's why they end up winning this game. It was a 120-118 ball game favoring the New York Knicks, in which they end up taking a 2-1 lead series. And let's get right into it. But make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Subscribe, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button. And let's dive in a little bit deeper into this game. Jalen Brunson, I want to start off with Jalen Brunson because he was the man of the fourth quarter. Mr. Clutch Player of the Year, and he lived up to expectation. Going down the stretch the last 3 or 4 minutes of the fourth quarter of this ball game, he was on automatic. Every time the New York Knicks needed a big bucket, when it looked like the Detroit Pistons were looking like they was creeping back in, it was going to take the lead, and they cut the lead down to 2 points to 3 points, Jalen Brunson had an answer for him. He didn't shoot the ball particularly well the first 3 quarters, but when his team needed him the most, and that's what the top guns need to do. Sometimes when it's playoff time, damn those shot attempts, damn the field goal percentage. Keep shooting because you as the star player, we need you. And ultimately, come the fourth quarter time, he answered the call. You can call on Brunson. New York fans, stand up. Knicks Nation, stand up. Detroit Pistons fans, y'all got nothing to be sad about because y'all came to play too. Y'all came with it. A young ball club, showing that dog, showing y'all got that hunger. I love it right here. This was a good game, man. That's why I'm so energized. Because like I said, really outside of this series and the Nuggets and Clippers series, all these other series been boring. But these 2 series have been living up to the hype. There was a physical ball club and there was a physical ball game and it came right down to the wire. Now, like I said, Jalen Brunson, obviously he didn't shoot the ball particularly well in this game, but in the fourth quarter, he had 12 points going down the stretch, ultimately prevailed this New York Knicks team into a W. Now, I want to talk about this. Let's look at it. You get 37 and 9 from Jalen Brunson, your top player, even though he shot 9 of 20 from the field. But the thing is, when the team needed him the most, he delivered. Karl-Anthony Towns, he had a good bounce back game. The first two games of this series, he was mediocre. He came back with a much needed bounce back call in Game 3 because, like I said, this was probably the most important game outside of Game 7 in this series was Game 3. You do not want to lose this game and give the Detroit Pistons more confidence than they already have. They already hungry. They already feel like they belong. They already confident. You did not want to lose this game right here. You drop back-to-back games. You end up, Karl-Anthony Towns, he answered the call as well. Now, that's what I expect from you, Karl-Anthony Towns. Stop getting your big ass out there on that perimeter and getting that paint, man. Demand your presence in the paint, and that's what he did today. Now, in the first half, he was getting a little bit too trigger happy from the 3-point line. Even though he started off the game hitting his first 2 or 3 threes from the field, and he kind of fell in love with that. But as the game started progressing, he started getting lower and lower and lower and established his position in the paint. And he ended up answering the call with 31 points, 8 rebounds. OG Wananobi, that boy been in the lab. Shout out to OG, giving up. I'm not gonna say he shut Cade down, but he definitely slowed Cade down a little bit. He took his legs up under him. He made everything for Cade Cunningham tonight. Everything was for him was tough. Made sure he seen bodies every time. Made sure he seen a contested hand every single time he shot the ball or he looked like he was finna be aggressive. OG was right there with him, and still after all that defense, top tier, a good 2-way player, OG Wananobi, he delivered 22 points for the 22 much needed points for the New York Knicks. And Mikal Bridges. Now, I was going to talk a lot of shit about Mikal Bridges if he didn't step up in this game. Like I said, I'm going to keep saying it. This game right here, both teams knew the importance of the game 3. Game 3, this game was important for both teams, especially New York Knicks. You know, they stole one on y'all home court. You had to come back and still win. You did not want to go down this series 3-1. Now, we don't know what's going to happen in game 4. So that's why I say game 3, this was a must win. Because you did not want to give the Detroit Pistons extra motivation, extra confidence, extra momentum heading into game 4. And he gave you 27 and 3. 3 for 6 from the 3-point line. That's how you deliver. We traded all on picks. Now, this is why we traded all on picks. For a high leverage moment like this, a high leverage game like this, we count on you. This is why we traded for Mikal Bridges. Now, like I said, OG 22. Carlton Towns hit 31. Mikal Bridges hit 20. Jalen Brunson hit 30, which he didn't shoot the ball particularly well from the field, but coming down the stretch, he answered the call, and he answered why he was the clutch player of the year if anybody had questions. Now, everybody that I just named, they needed every single point of that. Because you look at it, Josh Hart only had 6 points. McBride had 3 points. Robertson had 2 points. Cam Payne had 4 points. Because those 4 players that I named, OG, Mikal, Carl, and Jalen Brunson, they did a lot of the heavy lifting today, which ended up ultimately prevailing the New York Knicks to the win. Now let's talk about the Detroit Pistons. Detroit Pistons. Cade, he was 10 of 25, shot 40% from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. He had 24, 7, and 11. The stat line looked good and things like that. But when the team needed him down the stretch, OG Anunoby was all over him like white on rice. He was on him like putting peanut butter on bread. Yes, sir. Yes, Lord. He was on that. Now, this was a high-intensity game. Now, K had that. Tim Hardaway had 24 points. Jalen Durant had 16 points. Dennis the Menace. I can't talk about him enough in this series. Since game 1, his presence has been felt. Game 1, he didn't do it with his points, the stat line. He did a lot of things outside of the stat line that's not gonna show up on the stat sheet. Giving you good defense, making Jalen Brunson work for everything. Come game 2, he added some offense to his arsenal. Started getting buckets. Game 3, when Detroit Pistons needed a big shot, Dennis the Menace, he had a call shooting that 3-point shot, man. Injecting them threes into his veins. He had 16. Then Malik Beasley, he didn't shoot the ball particularly well. He was 2 for 10 from the 3-point line, but he still finished with 12 points. Thompson had 7. Tobias Harris looked like his normal self back when he was in Philly with 5 points. And that's where I feel like that's where the Detroit Pistons lost the game. They didn't get enough offense from the other guys. They only had 3 guys. You know, you look at Jalen Durant with 16, Tim Hardaway 24, K with 24, Dennis Schroeder with 18, Malik Beasley with 12. The other guys had to step up in this type of game right here. Now, I told y'all, if you in high leverage moments when the team is on even playing field and it's a high leverage game like this, 3 things is what's gonna ultimately prevail the team to win: controlling turnovers, controlling the glass, and making sure you win the free throw disparity. Now, the Detroit Pistons had 43 rebounds. The New York Knicks had 40, so they won that battle. But the thing is, let's look at it from the free throw disparity. The New York Knicks were 26 of 29, and the Detroit Pistons were 22 of 27. They missed 5 free throws. The New York Knicks missed 3 free throws. New York Knicks won that battle. Now look at the turnovers. Detroit Pistons had 14 turnovers. New York Knicks had 9. They won 2 of the 3 battles. I told you, that's all it takes. You win 2 of the 3 battles right there, more than likely you're gonna end up capping off this game. Now, if the Detroit Pistons if they take away at least 3 of those turnovers and they make all their free throws from the free throw line, they win this game. They only lost this game by 2 points. That was the story of the ball game. But nonetheless, this was a hell of a game. Hell of a game. Jalen Brunson, way to show up when your team needed you most. That's what you need. And when a lot of guys were giving you flake, talking about he a foul merchant. Well, how about I give y'all these ethical buckets, y'all like to call it. Come in the 4th quarter, the last 3-4 minutes, get a ball to me, get the hell out the way, and let me take us home. That's what star players do, Brunson. I love that. Carlton Towns. Ah! There you go. Get your ass out that perimeter. Get in that paint. Dominate that paint. 31 points. Bounce back game. Way to answer the call. That's how you show up when you are an experienced team. The more experienced team won tonight. The better team won tonight. The team that executed more down the stretch won tonight. And that's just simple, the bottom line. I'm not hating on the Detroit Pistons. I'm not rooting for the New York Knicks. I'm calling it what it is, and I'm saying what I seen. This was a hell of a game nonetheless, though. Like I said, it looked like both coaches in film study after game 2, they stressed the importance of game 3, and both of them came out with it on their mind. Both teams met each other with the physicality. It was a lot of talking going on. A lot of fake scuffles going on. They look like they were down there finna get it on, finna have a Royal Rumble in that mud, man. I love it, though. That's what high-intensity basketball, playoff basketball is supposed to look like. We don't supposed to be friend, buddy. We're trying to win. Buckets when you needed your team most. Back and forth, throwing blows. See who can withstand each other's blows the most. And that's what this game was filled with. And this was a hell of a game from both teams. Neither Detroit Pistons, they got nothing to hold their head up. They still got another game on game 4. Now they better not lose game 4, is all I gotta say. Game 4 that is when to go home for them. Because if they lose game 4 and they go down 3-1, going back to Madison Square Garden in game 5, the series is over. That's why I said this game right here, I know both coaches stressed it. We need game 3. Game 3 is important, especially for the New York Knicks, especially for the Detroit Pistons. Because you never know how game 4 is going to go. Right now, the New York Knicks, they got momentum heading into game 4. They feel like they good. They feel like they still they got room to improve in. They still, Josh Hart, he didn't play as good on the offensive end as he would have liked. You know, same thing from Malik Beasley. He didn't play as good on the offensive end. He didn't shoot the ball particularly well. Tobias Harris didn't have a good game either. So both teams looking like they feel good about themselves. And this what make the series so good. Now, y'all hit that comment section. Y'all let me know how y'all felt about this game. Y'all let me know who y'all got winning in game 4. Who y'all got winning this series. I feel like both teams is evenly matched. Detroit, I still give them a shot. I still give them a chance with that crowd behind them. 42 Doug was there. Jalen Rose was there. Jahmyr Gibbs was there. The Palace, they came, they showed up and showed out when they first home playoff appearance in 2008. Man, that's what playoff basketball is all about. Now, I'm going to see y'all at the game 4. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button for me, please. It costs nothing to support. Hit that subscribe button, and I'm going to see y'all at the game 4.